I think for people who struggle with suicide ideation, I think those challenges are always there. And in some ways, when you talk about isolation, COVID has definitely contributed to making things harder, right? There's a lot of shame that comes with it. There's a lot of stigma that comes with it. And that's on your own. But a lot of people will find that when you open up to somebody and you try to seek that support, the shame and the stigma are reinforced by that person's shame and stigma, or just really misunderstanding of the topic. And so, well, I do think that COVID will have an impact on ideation attempts, and potentially we're hoping to prevent outcomes. I don't think it's causal. I think that it actually, if we look at it from an alternative viewpoint, it's an opportunity for us to look at what's working and what's not working. I think now that people who don't struggle with ideation have had a really solid sense of what it feels like to feel isolated, that's what people who struggle with this all the time feel every day. And then we force them through the normal routines of work expectations and social expectations, and hide your mental illness because you might make me feel uncomfortable, or don't talk about the fact that you've relapsed when you've been in recovery from a substance use disorder because I'm going to bring shame to you for that, or even things that aren't related to mental health or substance use, economic problems, family challenges, divorce, custody battles. All these things can be connected to a suicide outcome, and we don't create room in our society to have those conversations. And so I think one of the benefits of COVID might be that we are looking at a potential opportunity to create room for that conversation, for that empathy, for some of the sources of support that have always been there, but the support sources haven't necessarily been ready to receive it because they could not empathize with it, like genuinely empathize with what that isolation feels like. So I think if you're having serious suicide ideation, there are a number of things you can do. You can always reach out to crisis support systems. You can text 741-741 and receive support from the crisis text line. You can also call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline and talk with a crisis counselor and get through that moment of acute ideation.